So
Yeah.
you've worked with these major brands, and we're talking major global brands.
Mhm.
How does a young entrepreneur, coming back to that question I asked you earlier, who might not have the confidence but wants to muster their confidence, how can they think like a global brand? Like from all the brands that you have worked with, and again, numerous and huge and global, like what is it that they all have in common that an emerging entrepreneur can learn from?
Mhm. Oh, this is such a good question, Lisa. Every brand, like from the Amazon behemoths to the small business dentist who has a great brand, knows who they are and they can articulate it very easily. And they have confidence in the strengths that they bring to the table. And so if you know you're watching this and you say, I want to be like a global brand, how can I do this? But one of the best ways that I suggest people do this, and we did this together, Lisa, you and I, in our branding session, was we said, okay, go to your friends, your family, the people that you feel closest with. Go to the friend who would come in and take care of you at 3 o'clock in the morning if you needed it, because they know you the best, and ask them how they would describe you to another friend. And because it's hard for us, like I always say, it's hard to be your own doctor. You can't operate on yourself. You can be like a master surgeon, best in the world. You can't suture yourself. You can't do that, right? So it's hard for us to be able to, we're just not socialized in a way to be able to say, I am so good. And I'll give you an example. If you come into, let's say, for example, you're at a theme park somewhere and you come up to a Coca-Cola activation. So Coca-Cola is doing something fun. You see red, a sea of Coca-Cola red everywhere. You see the iconic bottle, you see the logos, you see people wearing all of this stuff. Do you ever question it and go, Coca-Cola has a really big ego? Like they're all about themselves. We don't, right? We never do. We just accept that. And brands, like brand marketers will be like, we need more of the red. We need more. I need to see more Coca-Cola everywhere. Like that's what it is, because they're selling themselves and all the amazing things about them with zero apology. When it comes to us, and I hate to say this, but I see this more often, and I'm like this too, we're socialized as women often to be selfless, to care about everybody else, but not ourselves. We can't be the best servant leader to other people if we don't start with ourselves. Then this is something I've learned. And so we can't be unapologetic about our business. I'm not unapologetic about my business. I have a lot of family support, like my husband. Like for example, this morning, my brother dropped the kids off to school because I'm doing this with you. It's a family affair. But you know what? He's supportive of me. He knows it's good for my family. And I'm not apologetic about it because I know that we're doing all of this for our family, right? So you have to get to know yourself and then show yourself to the world. We can't hide who we are. We can't be afraid that people are going to think that we have an ego. And this is something I really grappled with confidence versus ego in my own mindset, because I grew up learning that we should never have an ego. We shouldn't tout ourselves because people will think you have an ego. And I was like, but you want me to be confident. So how does that work? And I've since recognized that when you know yourself and you show yourself, you're giving the best of yourself as a gift to the world.
Yeah.
Your ego comes into play when you're in competition with other people.
Yeah.
And you want to put somebody down and pretend that you're up, right? So that's the difference. Is an ego pretends to elevate you to a certain level that you don't feel like you're at, but you're pushing for it. Whereas confidence is having the grounding and the foundations to say, I am good. Coca-Cola says they bring happiness to the world, right? Let's say. So they believe in that and they are advocating that everywhere, and everything they do with that idea in mind. Nike says if you have a body, you are an athlete. It doesn't matter. So they work with the top athletes in the world, but this mom who had a baby who's trying to get back into shape can go into Nike and put something on and feel good about themselves because Nike is encouraging me to be the athlete inside of me. So what do you have inside of you? What's your fight? What makes you say, there's no compromise here? I'm going to do this. Like, this is not going to work for me. I have to do this. We have to articulate that because we feel it, but we often don't have the words for it. brands spend time in the boardroom with all the experts and everybody else to put words to those feelings, and then they market those feelings to the world, which is why we love brands. But we don't do that for ourselves. That's what we have
Yeah.
to do.
And here's the thing that I've learned. You've helped teach me this. My other coaching that I've done throughout the years has taught me this. We have to view ourselves with a little bit of objectivity. So it's kind of like if you could like take yourself and put you like in a video or something, or like, take a camera lens and kind of zoom it out